the other thing too, Lynn, that I would tag on to that, especially if it's a tenant space and your landlord is, going to pay for those, say, new carpet, they're going to paint the whole space and put new carpet in. Typically, they have certain standards that they will pay for. And so we're very adept at being able to work with what those standards are. But sometimes there's standards that you want a little different image, a little more elevated image than what those standards will give to you. And as you know, then that's something you can always negotiate with that landlord too, that, maybe they will cover a little bit more and we can look a little bit outside of those standards, or, maybe you have to chip in a little bit towards it and they still cover that base price, but you can just pay for an upgrade type of thing. So, so that often happens as well.
I find that with the Class A buildings, generally the carpet allowance is sufficient.
Yes.
When you get in a B and a C, it's not, and that's the reason the rents are different. I don't think people realize that when you're in a Class A building, you'll get, even your doors are upgraded and they're taller and your carpets are graded, and they come with way more stuff, and people don't always realize that when they're looking at space, that they might pay a little more money for this nicer building over here, but they're actually going to get more out of that building. But if you're being, if you have a budget and you need to go into a small, less space, you just have to realize that you might, if you go with that cheaper carpet, you're probably going to have to replace it at some point.
Yes.
So, anyways.
Yeah,
I got my
and
phone on
the other thing, and it's not even just carpet, Lynn, there's other things too, like you mentioned the doors. Oftentimes in a Class A type building space, those doors will be a solid core versus a hollow door. So one, when you open and close it, it might feel a little heavier, but the bigger thing you'll notice is when the door is closed, you're still going to get some sound transmission, but it's going to buffer that noise a little bit better than that hollow door that's much thinner and, is almost like a sheet of paper hanging there. So, and same thing, sometimes on drywall too, different thicknesses of drywall, and that can make a big difference as well. Or the quality of the ceiling tile. Some ceiling tile absorbs sound more than others and keeps it from bouncing around the room more than others. So those are all different things that you don't, just as walking through, you don't always catch. But like you said, it certainly makes a difference and impacts the overall cost.